Hi folks, so today's video is going to be on the Edinburgh 7. So the Edinburgh 7 were the first group of female students at any British university. They began studying medicine at the University of Edinburgh in 1869, and although the Court of Session at the time ruled that they should never have been admitted and that they would never go on to graduate as doctors, the campaign they fought gained national attention and won them many supporters, including Charles Darwin. Even though the women had supporters, there was a lot of people that fought against it. One of them was Professor Robert Christensen, who was one of the women's main opponents. A debate was held in April 1870 by the University Court to decide whether women should be allowed to be in mixed classes with male students. One of the main arguments led by Professor Christensen was that women shouldn't be in an educated environment. They should be at home looking after their kids or being dutiful wives. They shouldn't be in an educated environment. Now, nowadays, this would be seen as outlandish, but back then, this was the unfortunate reality of a lot of women. So, unfortunately, things were only going to get worse for the Seven. On the 18th of November in 1870, the women were due to sit an exam at Sturgeon's Hall. They approached and found Nicholson Street blocked off by a crowd of 700 people. When the women were seen approaching, a large number of the crowd began pelting them with rubbish and mud, as well as shouting abuse and insults at them. They made their way to the main entrance at Sturgeon's Hall, only to find the gates slammed in their faces. They endured hostility from the crowd until a sympathetic student or janitor, nobody knows what one, came and opened the gates for them. At the end of the exam, a woman declined the offer of leaving via a side entrance into the street. The Sturgeon's Hall riot, as it became known, was a landmark in history. The Sturgeon's Hall riot and the Medical Women's Campaign would attract widespread public opinion, and it won the women a few new friends and sympathisers. This would also go on to attract some male students that were shocked by the way the women were treated that day. The supportive students began acting as bodyguards for the women, escorting them from their place where they lived to their examination hall and back. For a few weeks this would go on, and they would come and pick up the women from their home and escort them to their classes. 5 out of the original 7 would go abroad and be granted MDs in the later 1870s. So these 7 women's names are as follows: Sophia Jex-Blake, Isabel Thorne, Edith Petchey, Matilda Chaplin, Helen Evans, Mary Anderson and Emily Bovell. So in 1878, Sophia Jex-Blake returned to Edinburgh and set up at Manor Place in the new town as the city's first woman doctor. She also established a clinic for poor patients, which was the forerunner of the Buncefield Hospital. So after a hard-fought campaign, Scotland started licensing women doctors, and Jex-Blake helped found the Edinburgh School of Medicine for Women. So Edinburgh University, alongside other Scottish universities, would eventually admit women graduates in 1892, after Universities Scotland Act of 1889 established a legal framework for this. All classes were co-educational except for medical classes. So it's safe to say that the Edinburgh 7 paved the way for future change when it came to women's rights. And who's to say how long it would have taken before universities started taking in female students if it wasn't for these women. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope everyone has a great day.